Hi, my name is Dean Ramsden with C5 Expedite, based out of Naples, Florida, and our regional office is Wisconsin Rapids, Wisconsin. We also have offices in Chicago and around the country. We're a family-run business. We started this company with my son in 2014, Clayton, and he is now the president of the company. I'm the vice president of administration and recruiting. I'd like to share some things with you how to get started with our company, and we are hiring owner-operators all over the country. So a couple things that you need to know is that we look for vehicles, whether you have a Sprinter van or a box truck, everything has to be under that 10,000 GVWR, which is gross vehicle weight rating. And there's minimum dimensions to that vehicle as well, which I'll go to in a minute or two here. But the beauty of this is you don't have to have a CDL license. There is no forced dispatch. There's no electronic logs. You don't have to stop at waste scales unless they pull you over for some unknown reason. And what we do is we do a 70-30 split with you. So our owner-operators average about 5,000 a week. And I'm going to just show you on the board here. 5,000 a week. They work about 3 weeks a month. Okay? So they go out for 3 weeks and they take a week off. And that is $15,000. And if you do that for 12 months, you're looking at $180,000 in gross revenue. Now, keep in mind, you get 70% of that. So on your side of the income statement, if you take that times 0.70, you're going to get $3,500 a week. Now, this is average. I've seen lower than this, and I've seen higher than this. I've seen as low as $1,875 for the week. I've seen as high as $6,000, $8,000, and even $10,000. Now, there's no guarantees. We have no idea what the economy is doing. The market goes ups and downs, and we just ride that wave. We take it when it's up, and when it goes down, this is when we cut expenses. So $3,500 a week is gross, and I will go into more details with that. There are a few things that we need from you, okay? One is we need you're in your own business, so we need your EIN number, and you can get that. You can be a sole proprietor or an LLC. We prefer an LLC, but you get that from irs.gov. We need a copy of your driver's license, a copy of your med card. We need your registration of the vehicle, unless you're renting. If you're renting, we don't need that registration right away, but we definitely need the DIMs, the dimensions. So, and you'll need to take pictures of those dimensions. So when you open the back doors, you have to have 60 inches, and that's underneath that bracket. You have to have a clear space of 60 inches high. Between the wheel wells, you need 52 inches, so run a tape and measure between the wheel wells, take a picture of it, and you need 124 inches to the bulkhead, right behind the driver's seat. So those are the minimum dimensions. Once you get that to the recruiter, that is all that information that is sent to our fleet manager, and the fleet manager then will run your MVR, your motor vehicle record, and then they'll discuss insurance with you, and that's what I also want to discuss with you as well. So I want to work with that 3,500 number. One thing I want to mention to you, and let me see if I can find a better marker here. There we go. So when you have this 5,000 gross, and this is for the week, what happens is our dispatch team will talk to you, and they'll say, okay, Jim, we have a run for you that runs from point A to point B, and the gross is $1,000. Okay, they always tell you what the gross is because that's what they're bidding, and you get 70% of that means you'll get $700. So when they're telling you the gross rate, take out your calculator and take it times 0.70 to get that 70%. So if you're grossing $5,000, you're going to net $3,500. Now I want to discuss some insurance things with you, okay? And this is where things get kind of complicated and people get confused with the insurance. So if you're working for us and you're contracted under C5 Expedite, we have RMC, our DOT number. Some of you come to us and you already have your MC DOT number and you have your full liability policy. And that is okay because we do have a sister company called C5 Logistics, which is also a broker. And if you have your own MC number, there is potential for you to be contracted with C5 Logistics. But under this scenario, you're running under our MC and our DOT number. You have to be under our insurance, which means there's $1 million general liability policy, there's $1 million auto liability policy, and there's also $100,000 in cargo insurance. And that rate is $300 a week. And you just pay weekly on that. So if you don't go out, you don't pay the $300. Now, in addition to that, you'll have your own insurance, which is an NTL policy, which stands for non-trucking liability. So when you're running with us, you're under our policy. So if you hit somebody, cause an accident, that comes on our policy. As soon as you unload and you drive over and you leave that parking lot and you're unloaded, you're now on your NTL policy. You hit grandma in the Walmart parking lot, you probably have our signs on the side of your vehicle, which technically are supposed to be taken off because grandma is going to sue us in addition to suing you as well. And that's the reason why you have to have $1 million NTL policy, okay? So there's going to be a fee to that. And the other thing that goes along with that is physical damage. So if you hit a curb or you hit a vehicle or whatever it is, your vehicle needs to be covered. And especially if you're renting a vehicle, I highly recommend taking their physical damage policy and you figure out what their deductible is. But for us, and that is going to be a fee here, and we're going to talk about that in a little bit. For this $3,500, then you have subtract $300 for the insurance. That's, again, only when you're going out. Then there's $54 for an owner occupational. What owner occupational is that's $1 million coverage if you were to get hurt. It's very comparable to a workers' comp policy. Our customers are requiring it. Let's say you end up in North Dakota and it's freezing cold and you get out of your van and you slip and hit your head, you get a concussion. Who's going to pay the medical bills? And so that's where this owner occupational, and it's required. If you can get your own policy, that's fine. We'll accept your own policy. Otherwise, you can get the policy through us for $54. Now, this insurance is required through us. This NTL policy, you'll need to get that on your own, and we do have sources for you that can help you with that. Okay, so after our fleet manager discusses that with you, then you go into orientation. And our recruiting manager will do the orientation. They'll go through the contract with you. You should have already received a copy of the contract, so you can read the contract. Then she will go through it with you on DocuSign. We do it through a Zoom meeting. Everything is electronically filed legally. Okay, so now let me go into the numbers a little bit in more detail. And this is to show you how to make money in the expedite business. Now, in today's times, and we're filming this in late 2022, going into 2023, the country is really touting that we'll pay $15 to $20 an hour. And I want to show you the math on that because people like to make $20 an hour. And they're going to work about 40 hours a week, okay? You're going to gross $800. Now, let's say you work 50 weeks out of a year, and this is just for simple math. That's $40,000. Now, you have to pay taxes out of that. And I'm going to estimate taxes. I'm not an accountant. I'm not an attorney. I'm a business owner. So, again, any of these numbers I show you, these are all numbers that you'll need to check out and you need to verify. Again, I'm not making any guarantees, and I'm only using estimations. So when I say you'll pay 30% in taxes, I'm including, workers' comp and FICA and unemployment. And the employer pays the workers' comp. That's why you pay the owner occupational. But 30% is roughly $12,000. That's $28,000 net. Plus, you have other expenses. It costs money to drive to work, right? You have vehicle costs, gas, repairs, tires. So your money, these expenses are taken out of that net number as well. So just kind of keep that in mind. This is a $20 an hour position. 40,000, you're going to net about 28. So I'm just going to put 28,000 over there. Net number. Remember, you're going to have some other expenses with that. Now I'll show you the benefits on the expedite side. So again, we're going to start with that gross number of 5,000, and you're going to get a net number of 3,500, and that will be 0.70. So this is the number that you have to work off. Now you wonder, where does this other money go? Where does that 30% go? And that comes to C5 Expedite, and what we do for you is that covers operational costs, that covers all the dispatching costs. All their dispatchers are based on commission. So the higher they can get more revenue for that load, you benefit, because they don't get paid unless they make a deal happen for you. So they're paid on commission. We cover all the track and trace, which is 24/7, 365. That package for our customer is tracked all the time, and it's reported every 2 hours. Every 2 hours it's updated to the customer. We take care of all the billing and the collections, and we pay you weekly. So keep that in mind also. We pay weekly. You don't have to chase the money. We do. So of that $3,500, I'm just going to ballpark this number for right now. Let's say your expenses are $2,000. Okay? You're going to have a net number of $1,500, and I'll call that a net number. Okay? So, how many weeks do you want to work out of the year? If you work, say, 40 weeks of the year, 40 weeks, okay, your net number is going to be $60,000. Compare that $60,000 working 40 weeks or working 40 hours a week, and I said 50 weeks over here for $28,000. So it's like you're almost doubling your money. That would be like making like $40 an hour, and you're working 40 weeks. There's 52 weeks in a year. You're going to get 12 weeks of vacation. And this is time for you to, when you come home from these trips and you do your laundry and you check your mail and you pay your bills, and boom, you're ready to go back on the road again. Of this $2,000 is where you have to figure out how you can make extra money on that, because you're going to have $300 in insurance cost to C5, and then you're going to have things like gas, your NTL policy, and then your vehicle. And you're also going to have some repairs. And so this is where you need to budget your money on this $2,000 on what does that look like. Now I can tell you this, if you rent a vehicle, it's going to cost you more because the rental company is going to make money. But the beauty of renting a vehicle is you can take that vehicle back. So a lot of our owner-operators get started with a rental vehicle, and then they purchase their own vehicle. They build up their credit, they build up cash, and then they can convert to that. So in future videos, we'll dig into this in more depth on what your bottom line is here. This is your bottom line considering that $2,000 in expenses. Feel free to give me a call. When you call us, you're routed to a recruiter. The recruiter will start going over these details with you. They'll send you an email, and in that will be my phone number. Feel free to give me a call. Please don't call me in the middle of the night, but feel free to give me a call. If I'm available, I will take your call. If I'm not available, just leave a message. With that, I want to thank you for your time. And again, if you have any questions or you'd like to get started, just submit those 5 things to the recruiter, and that will get the party started. So we look forward to working with you. And again, if you have any questions, please give us a call. Thank you.